Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing my top 20 best tobacco fragrances, my favorite tobacco-based fragrances in my collection. We have a little bit of everything here and it's going to be a long one, so get ready. We have some designer, we have some niche, some affordable, some more high-end, something for everyone in here. So the first fragrance that we're going to talk about is one that I bought over at Duty Free very recently, and I have just gotten, I posted a photo about it on Instagram and I have gotten so many messages of people asking me to review this fragrance. We are talking about Tobacolor by Christian Dior. And you know, actually the reason that I grabbed this, because this is not what I went to Duty Free for. I went to Duty Free looking for the new Jean Paul Gaultier Le Beau Paradise Garden, which was a total flop if you guys saw my review on that one. And I saw this there and I just grabbed it. I didn't really think twice about it. I just picked it up because I've gotten so many of my viewers saying that it's just amazing. You guys were so right. Thank you so much for giving me this recommendation. I love this fragrance so much. I've actually worn it quite a bit. I don't know why there isn't a bigger dent in this, honestly. Let's give it a spray. This is a masterpiece. And I know we should not use that term like so loosely. This is a tobacco masterpiece. I really love how in this, which all of the fragrances that I'm going to be talking about are tobacco dominant, but I love how in this, the tobacco is just so dominant in such a classy, cozy way and really amped up by this kind of smoky side. There's almost like this boozy leaning kind of like plumminess in here. Not like a dirty kind of pipe tobacco, raunchy tobacco. It's more of a very cozy, comforting type of tobacco note. More like a sweet honey tobacco, but balanced really well with this resinous side, this more oriental resinous sweet side. It's not the most overly complex scent. Pretty linear as well, I would say, in how this dries, but it's just like a warm hug. Like it's, I don't know. And not like in a way that you typically think. Like it doesn't remind me of like the holidays or something like that. Definitely this is better for the colder weather, which I don't care. I'll wear it in Miami anyway. But there's just something about this. It feels like just a really comforting, warm hug, and I really like it. And at the same time though, it's still incredibly elevated. It really does smell rich, and the performance on this is easily a 10 out of 10. No issues with longevity, projection, sillage, anything like that. This thing performs really, really well. This will literally last up to a week on your clothes. I've sprayed this on like sweaters and things and put it on a couple days later and it smells very strongly of Tobacolor. So fantastic performing, super cozy and delicious. This was a great pickup. So good. So we're gonna be throwing it back a little with the next scent. We're talking about Versace the Dreamer. Really great affordable scent. You can pick this one up around anywhere from like $10 to $30. This is a very fresh floral tobacco and it has a built-in atomizer. Don't make the mistake that I did by ripping off the top when you first get it. More like a tobacco blossom in here, very fresh, aromatic and green as well. You're gonna get this juniper, the tobacco of course, tarragon, artemisia, iris, lily, and amber. It is really classic. Even today, it does smell just a tad like mature, not in like a way that you typically think of whenever you think of a mature scent. It's not animalic, it's not pissy, it's not gonna have anything like that. It just smells a little bit like the early 2000s. It just smells very clean, dressy, even a little bit soapy. It's not the most strong, dominant tobacco scent. You get more of this very lightly spiced tobacco feel over this heart of like flowers and this greenness. Easy wear, year round, don't have to think twice, you can just throw it on and go. Very affordable and still works really well today. Even after some reformulations, this is the type of scent that is perfect if you want something that is affordable and you want something that is different, you know, a little more unique. That's what I really appreciate about the Dreamer. It's not like your typical blue aquatic cheapie, you know? It's smells a little bit more elevated and more unique. So the next fragrance that I'm going to be talking about is probably one of my all-time favorite discoveries this year at Naxos. We're talking about Felicity by Paradis Descends. One of my top discoveries from the show, and I really wanted to share it with you guys. And it may have even inspired this video just because I like it so much. Another fresh, aromatic tobacco, but way more complex than the Dreamer. You get this very stunning, very vibrant cardamom in the opening with tobacco, juniper, bergamot, and sage, edelweiss, woody notes, musk, black tea, oak moss, sandalwood, and leather. Like I said, very complex and dimensional, very interesting, very unique. You get this very nice kind of aromatic green opening. There's just all of these spices, that sage, the juniper, that artemisia, it all kind of mixes together to create this very vibrant, along with that cardamom, very green side of the opening, but it's not all that you get. You immediately get that tobacco and you immediately get this very nice, fresh leather. It's not heavy, hard to wear leather. It's more of like a supporting note in Felicity. And it's very cool too, because at the same time, I get this very zingy black tea note that I really like. Just kind of adds to that fresh side, but not in like a typically citrus type of way. Once again, mixed with that kind of suede leather. I would say that the tobacco in this, very smooth again, more of a tobacco blossom, really just supports the leather. And I think it's actually a very cool combination as well, because it does it in a way that it is super masculine, it is manly, it's a little bit earthy, but it's not heavy and it's not like a dirty, deep, intense scent. It's something that will be very classy and very elegant at the same time. You could wear this basically anywhere. This would be a great day-to-day scent. You could even wear this at the office if you wanted to, date night. It's just very interesting how all of these notes come together in all these different facets. I think that the way that the juniper is done in this as well kind of adds an element that feels a little bit sparkling, especially with that tea as well. Really well blended, very unique. Cannot emphasize that enough. This is very unique, but not in a way that is like, it's a little too different, Like it's like when you have to really push the boundary to be super unique, it's not always a hit. I think that with Felicity, it's literally perfect. It's the perfect scent for anyone out there that really loves leather-based scents. Not that the leather in this is the main star. It's very dimensional. It's not just the leather, but it's a really great fresh leather and a great one for the spring as well. You could even wear this in the summer. It's that there's so many fresh elements to this. I think really it will work perfectly year round. So I guess what I'm saying is if you want a very nice fresh leather, dimensional tobacco, cardamom scents, there's so much stuff in this that has not been done before. This is a great scent to check out. And if you guys are interested, they gave me a discount code for their website as well, Erica10 for 10% off. I love it so much, guys. Seriously, one of my best discoveries at Naxos, and it's unisex as well. I will wear this 100%. I love everything about this for men and for women. Felicity by Paradis Descends. So next up, of course, we have to talk about Naxos from Xerjoff. This would not be a true tobacco fragrance list if I did not include Naxos. This is addicting, guys. It gets me every single time. There's just something about this that just draws me into it. You get these very classic fougere vibes, but made very modern. Such a beautiful honey, and I'm very picky when it comes to my honey scents, mixed with this very bright, vibrant lavender with some slight gourmand accords. Not the heaviest tobacco either. It's definitely in here, but I wouldn't say that it's what really stands out in the scent completely, at least not how everyone else says. I truly believe that this is meant for the summer. I know everyone thinks that it's like this winter cold weather king. I wholeheartedly disagree. My hot take, I think this is meant for the summer. It works beautifully in the heat. Take it from me, I live in South Florida, Miami, and I have worn this numerous times in the high heat, and it works beautifully. It just, I don't know, there's something about it that to me, it just smells like Miami Beach. And it's so gorgeous. Has this very kind of like rich, vacationing, like just carefree vibe about it that's very attractive. And it almost has just a touch of this kind of suntan lotion vibe. Smells like a luxury vacation to Miami to me. So sexy and sweet. Has cashmere and vanilla, tonka bean, cinnamon and jasmine. I will always recommend Naxos to basically everyone. It smells like a sexy summer fling. It's just one of those scents that you will never forget. So next up we have another cheapie. We're talking about Burberry London. Now this is the type of tobacco fragrance that I would recommend only for the winter time, not just because of how the scent is composed, but just also because it smells like Christmas to me. Another fantastic and very beloved cheapie. We have cinnamon, lavender, leather, tobacco, guaiac wood, and opoponax. It smells like the holidays at home. There's also something about this that is kind of piney to me, a little bit green, very subtle. And this is another type of scent that is very cozy, like a familiar hug. Beautiful, sweet, very dry tobacco in London. On the softer side as well, you're not going to get the absolute best performance with this. Maybe not even medium performance. It's pretty light, but for the price, just spray more. It's so affordable that it can be forgiven for the performance. It's very velvety. I really think that the best way to describe this is just as a nice, cozy, warm hug during the holidays. It's not smoky at all, very smooth and very intimate, but still just a very beautiful, warming type of tobacco scent. So next up, we have another fragrance that I've had in my collection for quite some time, and I'm finally getting around to reviewing it. We're talking about Blonde Amber by Clive Christian. This is another one that I have gotten endless amounts of requests to review. And my short answer is, this one is literally like a 15 out of 10, just buy it. But my long answer is that this fragrance is absolutely show-stopping. So complex and dynamic. You cannot get too much closer to perfection than you can with Blonde Amber. It's elegant, it's opulent, it's like a delicacy. I get this very nice dried fruit sensation that I adore. I love that kind of velvety, kind of jammy in a way, sort of dried fruit vibe mixed with rum. This is also very resinous. I love that kind of like spiced resinous feel that's very oriental, but not in a way that is too complicated. We have olibanum, there's myrrh in here, saffron, cardamom, ginger, so much depth. This thing is seriously next level. There's a very nice kind of floral aspect to this as well. Not overly dark or smoky, especially because of those sweet resins. This has a very nice bitter orange note as well that really cuts that kind of darker side. And it adds a touch of contrast as well. This is the definition, like the prime example of perfect blending. It is the best Clive Christian in my opinion. It's a woody, I cannot get over it. I can't get over Blonde Amber. Anytime that I smell this, it's like jaw-droppingly good. If you've experienced it, you already know. Come on guys, if you love Blonde Amber, leave a comment below, please. I'm addicted to that kind of dried fruit with that bitter orange in the resins, with that kind of smoky side. It's a showstopper. If you love booze and tobacco, you're a die-hard fan of this scent category, you need Blonde Amber. And I know it is pricey. It is very expensive, but honestly, especially with the amount of power that you get with this, it's just absolute beast mode performance. I think it's worth the money. It is quite the investment. I do not want to downplay that at all. It is a true investment, but it is worth every penny in my opinion. It is that good. So if you want something very dynamic, incredibly sensual, and just stunning, you definitely need to try Blonde Amber by Clive Christian. So next up we have the absolute superstar from BBK, Tobac Rose. Now this is going to be the perfect tobacco scent for those heavy rose lovers. All the guys that watch me that absolutely love rose fragrances, this is going to be one for you. And for the ladies as well. Beautiful on a woman. This is even a touch gourmand. You'll get a very nice, dry, clean tobacco, enveloped and surrounded by a gorgeous, jammy rose with dark chocolate and patchouli. It is just beautiful. It's plummy and peppery. This is a very unique way to take that typical kind of rose patchouli DNA. This is just the perfect fragrance that takes it in a new direction and makes it feel very different. This one is incredibly strong as well. I actually have a very funny story about the last time that I wore Tobac Rose. I was sitting at a restaurant and a couple minutes later, the waiter came back and asked me if I would be willing to move tables because the table next to me complained that my perfume was too strong. So lesson learned, do not overspray Tobac Rose because it is completely beast mode. But it is stunning and perfect if you want something a little bit different that is more rose dominant. Tobac Rose from BDK. So another fragrance that would just be criminal if I didn't add it to my tobacco list is Jazz Club by Maison Margiela. This is going to be taking it in a more toned down, gentle direction. It's an eau de toilette concentration. The scent does not perform badly at all, but it's not going to be like an in-your-face Tobac Rose level strong. This is another boozy tobacco, but more wearable day to day. The best way to describe it is it smells like a very fancy gentleman's club. This is going to be more of a herbal tobacco with this dry vetiver, peppery, very classy, smells like a very high-end jazz club. Of course, as the name would suggest. Very strong emphasis on the tobacco with some nice dry kind of ashy undertones. I love it. It's unisex as well, and I know a lot of women that wear Jazz Club and they say it makes them feel very sexy, very powerful, but on a man it is very gentlemanly, very sexy, and a great way to make this a little bit more feminine is to layer it with a nice vanilla scent. It's a power move on a woman and very classic on a man. Jazz Club by Maison Margiela. So let me put you on a fragrance that I could bet money you have not tried yet. This is Serotonin from Hormone Paris. This is another standout brand from Excellence. I saw a lot of other creators posting about it. A lot of people were very impressed by these scents, and I actually got to try this a while ago. I posted a reel about it over on my Instagram, and this scent is done by one of my favorite perfumers, Shadi Samra. And I love Serotonin because this fragrance has some of my all-time favorite notes to wear. This has coffee, artemisia, chocolate, bergamot, tobacco, white flowers, caramel, vanilla, sandalwood, and broxin and incense. So the whole concept of Hormone Paris is that you can trigger certain centers of your brain through scents. So with serotonin, you know, we're hitting those happy centers, right? It's gonna give you a little bit of a boost and like this kind of feel-good mood. This is very airy and bright with this very nice kind of ground coffee feel with the tobacco. I get a lot of that chocolate too. There is this very nice kind of like cinnamon spice in here as well. Something a little bit incensey next to that tobacco. Kind of has a very slight molecule feel as well, but not in an off-putting way. It works really well. The ambroxan in this, of course, is going to help amp up the performance. This is more of a gourmand take in the lineup here, more of a edible type of tobacco scent. I love the coffee, I love the chocolate, but it's not super sweet, so don't think that this is going to be feminine leaning at all. It is a match made in perfume heaven. Serotonin from Hormone Paris. So we're going to talk about some designers here, and what is the first designer scent that pops into your mind when you think of a tobacco scent? Of course, it is going to be Spicebomb Extreme by Victor and Rolf. This is sexy. This is a certified lady killer. There are very few women on this earth that do not melt at the face of Spicebomb Extreme. It's an absolute winter staple, insanely aromatic, very crisp, very bright. You get this really nice, refreshing bourbon whiskey on ice, mixed with this very spicy green tobacco and cumin as well. Does have this very slight kind of man smell to it, but not in an off-putting way. In a very attractive way, I must say. It has a very nice dark undertone, very mysterious, very alluring, but all at the same time being very aromatic. This is incredibly high quality as well. This is a type of scent that if they were to take the juice and put it in a niche bottle, you could easily get $300+ for this. It is really incredible stuff. Really develops on the skin as well. It is stunning. Doesn't need too much explanation, guys. It's Spicebomb Extreme, come on. So this next scent, I will admit, I did give it a little bit of heat when it was first released. We have Male Elixir, but the main reason that I gave this the heat that I gave it was just because, in my opinion, it was a little bit overhyped. I never said that there was anything wrong with this scent. There definitely isn't. I do like this scent, especially now that I've had it for, what's it been, like, time is such an abstract concept, right? Has it been a year? Has it been 6 months? I have no idea. But the juice has really macerated and it has gotten a lot better. I mean, hey, it won my South Beach Battle of the Elixirs video by a landslide, so people must really enjoy it. It's gotta mean something, right? This is going to be your bubblegummy sweet tobacco. You're gonna get that very classic bubblegummy Jean Paul Gaultier DNA in here. It does have this very strong designer feel, which there's nothing wrong with. It is very sweet. It's going to be the first Le Male that's going to be super, super gourmand leaning. More sweetness, you get a little bit of this mintiness as well. Definitely the most playful so far on this list. I will hand that over to Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male Elixir, and I really like saying that name. But the thing is, you really need to enjoy sweeter scents. And this cool bottle. The bottle is pretty cool. I'll give it that. I'll give it that. Cool bottle. We have another cult classic from Tom Ford, Tobaco Vanille. One of the most popular colder weather scents in the Tom Ford lineup. I always say it anytime that I talk about a Tom Ford scent, but I do really adore the house. I really adore that cool, fun, unique Oriental twist that Tom Ford always puts on their fragrances. It's really good. And this is a standout as well. Like, I can easily say, not that any of these fragrances smell like one another. Actually, I'm gonna give myself some credit here. I think I've put together quite a good list. I wouldn't say that any of these really blend together. They're all very different, but this is just so identifiable. Like, you could just blindfold anyone and give this to them and it will stand out to them. This also has a very beautiful kind of dried fruit note that I really like, but you're gonna get way more tobacco in this. This very heavy spice and this very heavy tobacco. Has cacao, vanilla, tobacco leaf, and tobacco blossom. Woody notes in the base as well. It reminds me of like the freezing winter back when I used to live in Illinois, where it gets very, very, very cold. Last time that I was there for Christmas, the wind chill was like negative 55 degrees Fahrenheit. It was insanely cold. This is what this reminds me of. Just like super crazy cold, dead of winter type of scent. Like a very warm fireplace on the coldest winter day. It has that very welcoming, cozy effect, but with a nice oriental flair. Polarizing for sure. I actually didn't like this the first couple times that I tried it, and I've seen lots of reviews on it. Very here and there. It's something that you need to test for yourself. Luckily, and I guess the whole world, it's generally always at Sephora. So very easy to test. But if you live somewhere colder, like really cold, this is a great choice. So next we're going to be talking about the one eau de parfum from Dolce & Gabbana. Super masculine. We have ginger, cardamom, very zesty ginger. Love it. Grapefruit and coriander, a little bit green with some amber, tobacco, and cedar. Now this is going to be a very, very safe fragrance to wear. Everyone will appreciate it. Very mass appealing with a very handsome price point. Pulls a lot of compliments as well. This one is going to be more casual, more day-to-day, but not in a way that is your typical blue scent. It's pretty simple and pretty linear, but in my opinion, it just adds to its overall charm. It's a classic. There's something very sexy about it, just like in a very nice designer way. It's a really great affordable option. Just a step up from the eau de toilette as well, the one eau de parfum. Of course, we have to talk about the newest release from Initio, Narcotic Delight. This is another standout, guys. Crazy sensual. There's something almost even borderline sexual about this fragrance. It's hypnotic. And better than side effect, we have cherry, black and pink pepper with cognac, hedoin, tobacco, and vanilla. It's so cool, very modern. The pepper in this makes it futuristic in a way, almost fizzy feeling, and the cherry is gorgeous. Sweetens it up just a touch, and that booziness. It is literally hypnotizing. There's just something about this. It feels very futuristic, like very modern, like something that just has not been done before. And it is crazy unique, which in a way it's good. You're gonna get a very nice niche experience with Narcotic Delight, but it makes it a little bit more limited to where you can wear this fragrance. For me, I would only ever wear this at nighttime, date night, when I want to make a statement, like attending an event or something like that. This is not the easiest scent to wear like day to day or casually. More better suited for like colder months and night occasions, but wow. It makes such a strong impression when you do pull this out of your rotation. I saw this one over on Fragrantify.ca for around $230, so I will make sure to leave it linked for you guys. It has officially hit the discounters. Totally addicting, next level version of Side Effect, and even better. So next up we have the absolute heartthrob from Parfum de Marly, Herod. Actually, the first ever Parfum de Marly in my collection. This is going to be super tobacco dominant, sprinkled with cinnamon and incense. Vanilla in the base with musk and cypriol. This is another scent that is just so good. And one in this list as well that is a little more dominant with the tobacco. More of this very nice, kind of dry, but also this kind of pipe tobacco feel. It is simple, but it is absolutely perfect in its simplicity. It dries with this very nice vanillic base, lightly spiced with this tobacco. An absolute icon from the Parfum de Marly lineup. Herod, not the best performing scent on earth. I've heard that there have been some reformulations. I get around maybe 6 hours with this, which is fine for me, but it's not the best choice if you want something that is going to be a little bit stronger. But the scent is absolutely gorgeous. We have a fragrance up next from Precious Liquid. This one is Tobacco Royale. Now this is going to be a scent for the connoisseurs out there watching me, the people that want something that is different, much stronger, a little bit more challenging, and something that may be out of your comfort zone. This one is very earthy with a green Divana note. It has apricot as well, a very unique, soft kind of stone fruit vibe. That's not juicy. It's not like a zesty type of scent, but you will picture it as being juicy. This one is definitely a conversation starter as well. Why? Because it's very balsamic and a little fruity with a lot of tonka bean. This is another one that is great for the colder weather, like super cold weather. But I could also see this one working very well in the upcoming spring because it does have these elements to it that is a little bit, not fresh, but brighter, fruitier. There's something very fruity about this, but not just like in a typical type of tropical fruit way. I get this very nice kind of sweet, thick date fruitiness in here, which I love date fragrances. It's almost even like a touch boozy, like this boozy date note. Could also be those dried fruits. It's so interesting. Seriously, I think this will get you a lot of compliments. It's gonna definitely start some conversations. Very artistic and very, very well done. So perfect if you want something that is a little more elevated, a little bit more niche feeling. Precious Liquid is a beautiful 10 out of 10 house that I absolutely love. It's a great house and they have very affordable discovery sets over on their website. So I'll make sure to link that in the description below. So this next scent, we're gonna be taking things in a lighter direction, not because of the performance, but just in the scent profile. We have Bravi by Tamine. I fell madly in love with this scent when I first smelled it. I knew right then and there, it was an instant love. I needed to have it. And can we please have a moment of silence for my bottle? You guys, I had to give you guys a PSA. If you put bottles in your checked bag, there is a risk from the pressure that it will leak, because I think that this got so cold coming back from Milan where the pressure was so intense that the bottle, it leaked a little bit. I don't know how it's possible, but you can see that the ink kind of came off a little. Oh, it's so sad. I lost a little bit of sleep over this because I love this scent so much. This is going to be another heavy honey tobacco bomb. So amazing. This honey tobacco with this beautiful bitter orange, saffron, ginger, we have tuberose with that tobacco, of course, walnut milk and vanilla. Perfectly composed. When I think of a perfectly blended fragrance, a perfectly put together and balanced fragrance, I think of Bravi. It's really hard to pick a word other than just perfect. This is a total sleeper. I have no idea why this fragrance Bravi does not get more attention. I do not know why it is not the star of the house of Tamine. It does not make any sense to me. You get this really nice blonde tobacco with a very strong presence, spiced from that saffron, that ginger, just a touch milky from that walnut milk. and a little bit nutty as well. I guess that makes sense, huh? With this borderline kind of syrupy, sweet, thick honey. All of this over a nice bed of tuberose. One of my absolute favorites from Tamine, and the more that I wear it, the more that I fall madly in love with it. It is really something different and perfect if you love honey. Bravi is the one that I would recommend for you, and you can sample this over on Twisted Lily, and you can use my code Erica10 as well for 10% off. It's a sleeper, so underrated. If you love the House of Tamine, you love honey and tobacco, grab a sample of Bravi. Next up, we have Manhattan by Roja Dove. Something unique in the Roja lineup, in my opinion. Something that you don't normally see this type of scent profile with Roja. And another just total heartthrob. This fragrance is inspired by speakeasies in New York City in the 1920s. So very interesting inspiration. A little playful, a little secretive, very romantic. This is another perfectly composed scent. It's classic. It is a little bit lighter, but still very artistic and complex. What I get the most is this tobacco with lavender, with a mix of florals, cinnamon, spices, something almost cashmere smooth, a touch of coconut, benzoin clove. It's just so good, guys. So crazy complex with that very famous Rose Demi that Roja just does so iconically. It's sexy, it's mysterious, it's refined, a little bit forbidden feeling. A very refined gentleman or lady, year-round, very versatile, aromatic, and one of my favorites from Roja. This one is Manhattan. So next up, we have a fragrance that isn't necessarily tobacco dominant, but I wanted to include an option that had tobacco that is a little bit more dimensional, like where the tobacco isn't necessarily the star of the show. We have Minuit at Demi by Fragrance du Bois, the collaboration with Demi Rawling, of course. This was also my first ever Fragrance du Bois in my collection, and one of my first ever niche fragrances in my collection as well. So for that reason, it's very special to me, and this is another scent that just has basically all of my favorite notes in it. Has cardamom, there's some pimento for spice, caramel, coffee, vanilla, tobacco, cinnamon, musk, cashmere, a liqueur note, cedar, and vetiver. A very wearable dimensional gourmand, which is exactly what Demi wanted to accomplish, and it is really beautiful. Very warming. This has a pretty nice dominant coffee note too, which is why I think that I really am just pulled towards it. With a little bit more of that subtle tobacco. Like I said, it's not going to be the star of the show in Minuit at Demi. It's just going to be more of a supporting note. It's going to add some interest, some of that dimension, some spice. Very yummy, natural sweetness. Fragrance du Bois is just such a luxurious brand, one of my favorites. And this is just one of the best fragrances for me. So special to me. Look at that little dent. I absolutely love it. And perfect if you want something that is not totally tobacco dominant in a very wearable, everyday dimensional gourmand. Minuit at Demi by Fragrance du Bois. So next up we have the discontinued gem by Azzaro, Wanted by Night. Now this is still around from time to time on discounters. I will leave it linked in the description below if it is still available where I know to find it. And make sure that you guys are subscribed to my channel, because on my community tab, I post all the time when hard to find fragrances, discontinued fragrances come back into stock on discounters. I always keep you guys updated with those links, and they always go very fast. So just make sure you're subscribed to me with your notifications on so you don't miss any of those posts, because I'm out here doing all the detective work for you guys. So this one has more of a manly edge to it. We have lavender, cumin again, but done once again in a very sexy way, mixed with some leather, tobacco, and vanilla. A little fruity, has cinnamon as well. Kind of green, you get some cypress, some patchouli. It's really not incredibly unique, but it's still very nice. This is a very beloved fragrance. I've gotten so many requests to review this, to pick it up, and I grabbed it when I saw that it was back in stock over, I think it was on Fragrance by CA. I picked this up. Has a very strong kind of Embroxen feel, a little incensey, resinous, all over this really nice ashy tobacco. So we finally made it to number 20, the finale. Of course, we have to end it with an absolute banger. We have Gentleman from Supers Budapest. Come on, it has a pipe of tobacco literally on the plate. It's gonna tell you what this fragrance is really all about. So this one is very unique as well and very classy. There is something a little bit sweet in here, almost even borderline, kind of like a fruity candy sweet, but it's not like like punching you in the face. It's more like way in the background of the scent. Very subtle way, doesn't jump out at you. This is a very interesting combination for sure. Tobacco, we have cacao, but also not in a typical way. Like I said, this is very unique. Really, there's something different here in Gentleman. We have some spicy notes, we have vanilla, a little bit powdery with tonka bean. This to me, it doesn't really smell totally like it, but it's kind of in the same realm of Tom Ford Noir Extreme Parfum. This is like a much cooler way, like a next level, almost more niche type of way to do that kind of DNA of Tom Ford Noir Extreme Parfum. Tongue twister. So very sorry for that interruption, that technical difficulty. I don't know what happened, but my camera just decided with like 3 minutes left in the video to stop recording. Makes a lot of sense, right? But hey, could have something to do with this solar eclipse, Mercury in retrograde. I have no idea, but we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Continuing where we left off, we're talking about Gentleman by Supers Budapest. Out of like everything that I mentioned in this list so far, well, total, this is the end. This is really the perfect middle ground. Like there's just something about this one that takes these combinations of things and brings it all together in a way that is really, I don't want to say perfect. I feel like I've said many of these fragrances are perfect, but it has an exotic side, but it's not going to be breaking your budget. It's not going to be something that is too advanced. This is something that any beginner could easily wear, and that's something that I really love and something that I always rave about the House of Supers Budapest is that they're not designer scents. Like they don't feel designer at all. You definitely can tell the quality here, but it's going to be scent profiles that everyone can get along with. It's really the perfect house if you are just someone that loves designer scents and you're wanting to take that first step into your niche journey, but you don't want to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars, sometimes even thousands of dollars on more expensive niche fragrances. This is a great place to start. This fragrance just has this really high-end feel about it. It kind of has almost what I love in Blonde Amber, like that kind of like date-like sweetness and thickness. It's really good. This is almost a little bit nutty as well. You get a lot of this kind of cacao. It's very cozy. I really think that Gentleman is going to be a staple for this spring because this is not too thick heavy. This is not a tobacco scent that you need to reserve for the winter time, for the colder months. This is going to work even year round, I would say. You could wear this in the summer for summer nights, I would recommend, but perfect for the spring. Just absolutely stunning. There's something light about it. Not light, but something very aromatic, fresh in here. It's not going to make you feel like you're wearing a very dense fragrance, even though there is a lot of dimension here. It's just a very sexy scent, like the type of sexy scent that is impressive, but also you just want to like snuggle up next to, but still very manly and very classy at the same time. It's really the perfect Gentleman. Every new scent that I try from the lineup, I love it. Like I'm just blown away. And I want to thank everyone, all of my viewers that also love Supers, that are always recommending that I try new scents from them, because I do keep trying them. I've gotten a lot of samples. I've gotten some more bottles as well. There have been a couple that weren't my absolute favorites, but overall, it's a great, great house, especially if you want something around that $100 range. This is going to be more of a sweet pipe tobacco on the skin. And if you're looking for the perfect introductory tobacco scent that's very elevated feeling for around a designer price, Gentleman by Supers Budapest is a great place to start. And you can use my code as well, Erica10. It'll save you 10% off. So really fantastic deal, guys. So yes, we made it to the end finally. Thank you all so much for hanging in there with me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a comment below. What is your favorite all-time tobacco fragrance? I would love to know. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.